Morning. Let's get some folks in here. Got one in here. Who we got this morning? Buddy Bell. Good morning, sir. How you liking that hammer, brother? John. What's up, Mr. Beeler? How is everybody this morning? Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Ed, how you doing? You notice we're not at the forge today. We're in the shop. Crappy weather down here this morning. It's going to be a little tough for me to get my camera out there and video and everything. Don't want to get it. I don't want to get it wet and ruin it. So we're gonna have Q and A today. So you guys get your questions in, and we're gonna sit back and chit chat and talk on the same lines as like Blacksmith Church tomorrow. Except we're doing it Saturday with Ting this week because I can't get out into the forge. Well, I can work, but I can't let you guys watch because I don't want to ruin all my stuff. Get it wet. Truck broke down last night. That's no good. Man, I hate to hear that. You wasn't stranded, was you? Hey, Pop, good morning. Good morning. Ben Toombs, how you doing? John Coffey. Keith Devers. John Tompkins got the package. Awesome. Glad to hear that, man. How you like it? Ben Toombs, if you've received yours too, right? I'm pretty sure you have. Yeah, that's right. We spoke the other day, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, I get sidetracked. I got so much going on, I forget stuff. If I ain't got it written down, you can forget it. My memory used to be a vice, man, and now it's not. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I need something to help my memory. So what are you guys doing today? Tingalicious. I like that, Alan. That's pretty cool. Tingalicious. Uh, guys, I need a touch mark. But I'm stumped on what it should be. I want y'all to give me some ideas. Maybe have a contest. See who can come up with the coolest touch mark logo for County Line Forge. I think that'd be great. See what you guys got cooking up in them old brains of y'all's. But I definitely need a touch mark. I'm tired of the letter set. I want to be able to stamp something in there that everybody knows that's from Ting. That's from County Line Forge. Okay? I don't mind paying for it, but I want one. I need one. Good friend picked you up. I need to get a new vehicle since duct tape and chewing gum won't fix it anymore. Well, shit. JB Weld's the next step up, brother. Try that. No, seriously, what's wrong with the truck, man? Maybe I can help you a little bit. Drop me a comment, see if I can give you some ideas. I'm sure we got some mechanics here. I know John Coffey's a pretty good mechanic. He may be able to give you some ways to redneck engineer that thing. Get it running. Okay, so if you guys got any questions for me, today is the day where I'll be able to get to them all. You know, I know you guys normally come and watch me forge, and I wish I was out there forging for you right now. I was about to be working on the chess set. But I had to choose between forging or hanging out with you guys this morning. So decided to hang out with you guys this morning because you guys are awesome. You're here every week, so I'm going to be here with you every week too. Curtis McPherson, what's up? You reminded me, Kirk Allen says, you reminded me of Forging It Forward project I'm thinking out. Make tags with our touch marks similar to keychains that we trade to hang up in our shops, kind of like bumper stickers. You know, you talking kind of like Tim or Big Dog Forge did, right? See, I like that, except it'd have to have both counties on it. I thought about that because I live at the county line. I can see the county line sign from my shop. Okay, that's why it's called County Line Forge. So it'd probably have to have both counties, but then it would have a line through the center behind the CL. F. So dirt road with a county line marker with your county and adjacent county. Well, that's a good idea. See, my only issue is I had thought about maybe doing that And yeah, I'll give you guys my address when you send something that you want to send something to me or whatever it is. Some of you guys have my address, and you could probably find it if you did a little research, But that's kind of like sending out a map to where I live. If it's a picture of both counties, they can just look at the state I live in, find the counties, and narrow it down. I don't know, but you never know. I don't want to be like too out in the open about exactly where I'm at, but at the same time, I don't want you guys to feel like you can't come see old Ting Ting. So I don't know how to do that. CLF in the center with Ting Ting and a circle around it. How about Ting Ting in the center with County Line Forge around it? What about that, Alan? That's pretty cool. Morning, Thomas D. Yeah. John Coffey knows all about suicide intersection next to my house. Good Lord, it's bad, ain't it, John? They come flying down through here, don't they? Yeah, I like that idea, Alan. If we switch it with County Line Forge as the edge around Ting Ting, put Ting Ting in some kind of cool font, not just plain old Ting Ting in Times New Roman, but a cool font for Ting Ting, and then do like County Line Forge in Times New Roman around it, to set them apart from each other. What do you think? I like that too, Ed. I kind of like the I kind of like the idea of putting a hammer in it as well because a lot of you guys know me for hammers. I do sell stuff other than hammers, guys. If you guys ever want it, I'm making tongs for some of you folks right now, and some the pendants and everything like this, the axes and tools, punches, chisels. Sell all kinds of stuff, man. But a lot of you know me because of my hammers, and that's basically the bread and butter of my blacksmithing business is hammers. To be honest with you, and you can call me John, Ben. Dad's got an idea. What's it say, Pop? How about making? Oh, it scrolled up on me. How about making a forge sitting across both counties? Not a bad idea, Pop. Tell me how you would make it look like a forge, though. How would you make it on a stamp that would definitely make it recognizable as a forge instead of just a square sitting across two county lines? Give me an idea on that, Pop. Put Ting Ting in that vintage military stencil font. I like that. That's pretty cool. Kind of like the Mash logo. If any of you guys know Mash, who Mash is, Buddy Bell, your dad's idea, but an anvil instead. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Outline of a hammer with CLF inside. See? I'm glad I asked you guys. Glad I asked you guys. You guys are making some pretty good suggestions here. Okay, so I didn't tell you to start. We might fire up the forge during the live stream because the weather's breaking, and I've been hoping that maybe some of the sun will peek through, so I ain't got to worry about a chance of rain on my phone. I do all my recording on my phone on tripod, everything, but $700 phone's still not waterproof. I don't know why. You can't let it rain on it. So the rain's stopping. If you guys hang out for a little bit, we might fire up the forge and do something. I don't know if we'll work on the chess set today simply because we're behind schedule with the live stream and it's going to take too much time, and I don't have too much time to run over today because we got a pretty exciting race event at the track this weekend. It's a big time late model series coming to town. Yeah, a lot of big fast cars. It's called the 3 Days of Thunder, put on by the Blue Ridge Outlaw Late Model Series. It's a touring series that's pro drivers. They're doing three different tracks in the area. One at Antioch last night, about an hour from here. They're doing the one at the track that I sponsor tonight, and then the one at another track about 45 minutes south of here. And I've got to be at the track early today to get set up, to get things going. I'm working the track entrance today. Mr. John Coffey got to go to the track with me. He got to experience our little old bull ring here in the south. I didn't have to work it that night because I was getting to walk around with him. Thank God he went. He saved me from having to work through it. But since it's a big event. I kind of got to work tonight, so I can't stay here too late. All right, Jonathan, have a good day, brother. So, would you guys want to watch some forging, huh? I'm sure you do. I'm sure you want to. Yeah, you do. Storming like every day out here. If you're worried about rain, put the phone in a Ziploc bag. I've been to rained on concerts with my phone in a bag. Stay dry. Yep. Stay dry as your dad's jokes. What's my next big project? Mr. Toombs, I don't really have a big project in the plans because I've got a lot of small projects to finish. I've got tongs to get out. I've got three more hammers to make as of right now to get out. So I do have some open slots. If you guys want to buy a hammer, I know somewhere that's you can get one pretty nice. Just let me know. But no, I've got a few hammers to get finished. I got two more sets of tongs to get finished and get out. I got several of these pendants to make. But that's just busy work. When I like to forge, I throw a stick in there and I make half a dozen of them before I sit down, have a drink, and then I get on the. That's my warm up making these. You want something made from a railroad spike. Price for the axe necklace is $35 shipped. That's to the continental U.S. Anywhere in the continental U.S. If you're outside the U.S., you do got to pay shipping. But no, I don't knock off on the price of the hammer. It's $35 plus free shipping. It's not. The total is this much plus shipping comes out to 30. It's $35 for the necklace. I'll ship it to you for free. How about that? If you're outside the U.S., sorry, you're paying shipping. Yeah, John Coffey's got three of my hammers now. He's got a dog's head, he's got a cross peen, and one he wears around his neck every day. And that's awesome, man. I appreciate the support, John Coffey. Last hammer came in a small envelope. It sure did. I'm glad you got it, too. I got several more of those to get out. Jim Patterson's in the house. How you doing, brother? You in the forge working today, I hope, right? Somebody's got to be. Uh-oh. I see sunshine out there, guys. We might get to get outside and work. Today's forging project could be a railroad spike tomahawk. It's funny you should say tomahawk because my dad lost his tomahawk yesterday and needs a new one. Don't you, Dad? Maybe I can make you a tomahawk out of a railroad spike instead of a rasp. Pop, what do you think? Be kind of tough to drift the hole that wide, but with the tomahawk drift without tearing it up. Yeah, where is Miss Penny? What's she doing? She cheating on us? She's over someone else's live stream this morning, ain't she? Matthew Nilsson, I'm off to build stuff here in just a minute too, I think, because the sun is coming out. Vacation for the next 9 days, John Coffey? Well, now. Ain't you just lucky? Oh, and Mr. Coffey, you should have a gentleman contacting you about a knife soon. I had a fella here in my shop the other day that just loved that knife you made for me, and he wants one. So I gave him your information. Hopefully, he'll get in touch with you. Hopefully. Paid vacation, Jesus, man. Not everybody's got gravy jobs like that. Thanks for rubbing it in. So you guys got any questions for me this morning? Y'all awful non-questiony for old Ting Ting. Let's go out here and light this forward. What do you guys think? I lied, guys. It just started raining again. Shit. Yeah, we just gonna say no fortune today. It sucks. Yes, Pop. Happy birthday. Let me look at my radar here and let's see what we got going. Because last time I looked at it, it was moving out. And the sun was peeking out just a second ago. Now it's done went back. So let me look at my radar again, see what we got going, see if there's going to be any chance of getting the forge lit because I'm an addict. My name's James, and I'm addicted to hitting things. Okay, radar shows it's clear, so maybe this is just a little sprinkle. What's the dew point? Temperature, dew point 60, temperature 60. Yep. Yeah, feels like 69, temperature 69, dew point 69. If you don't know anything about weather, folks, that means at 69 degrees, there's a lot of moisture and heavy water moisture in the air. That's what causes dew to fall on your grass. And so when it means that, when it gets down to 69 degrees, if your dew point 69 degrees, and it feels like 69 degrees, then at 69 degrees, everything's going to start getting wet. Water's going to lay on everything. That's my understanding of 31 years of watching it and figuring it out for myself and reading. So, unless it bumps up a degree, it's not going to be anything but moisture in the air all day. This is why my forge is in the garage. I can hit steel when it's pouring buckets. Man, I envy you right now, Alan. I need a concrete floor in this shop right here, and my forge would be in here because I can't put an anvil in here in a suspended truss, a suspended floor joist shop. It would have too much give. It would kill the rebound. Shop floods every time it rains. About the time it starts to dry up, bam, rains again. I feel you, man. Oh, Ben Toombs is getting ready to a vehicle and doubling the space in your shop. Lucky man. Funny question. Why doesn't the axe head have a handle? Well, the eye of an axe is generally bigger than the eye of a hammer. So to make it more lifelike, I had to drill a bigger hole than I would for the hammer eye. Okay? And that would entail a much bigger piece of steel for a handle, which at that point you're looking to make it look more realistic. You're like an axe to match that size head, and you're looking at a charm 4 inches long, and at that point it's no longer comfortable to wear around your neck, if that makes sense. Penny Brown, you're late. I want 10 push-ups. Bad. No, I can't be mad at you. I was late too. Sorry. 30 by 40 shop, concrete floors, everything with no power, so extension cords run out just for tools I need. Yeah, I got a big old shop too that I can't put any forge stuff in. It hurts my feelings. I gotta keep all my work tools in there. I only have one outlet with 2 plugs in the garage, so extension cords are my life. Hey, that's all that runs my power out there. Out there at my forge is extension cord to an outdoor power supply for Christmas lights. It's an all-weather box. I can just put it on a timer. Everything works great. It's got 6 plugs on it, and I can run my blower for my gas forge and my blower and my light, or my blower for my coal forge and my light. It's the only power I need out there, and a place to plug in my chargers and stuff when I need to. But yeah, Pop, I know you've offered to run me more, but I don't really think you're in any condition to be up here running power. I love you, but yeah, I'd rather have my dad than power out there. Just to be perfectly honest with you. I know you've offered it, and I know you'd do it for me if I let you, but I don't know. Cut a hole in the floor, take posts to the ground. I'm thinking of doing. No, I'm not cutting a hole in my floor. I got a 30-year warranty on my floor. I'm not cutting a hole in my floor. Sorry. Ran 100 amps out to my shed. Plenty of power. I need something like that. I'm a World of Warcraft fan. See, you didn't know Ting was a closet nerd, did you? I love that shit. I played for years. That's one of the things I loved about it was that I could be a blacksmith in World of Warcraft. That was always my profession. Every character, every tune I made was a blacksmith and a miner, until they made it to where mining was kind of pointless, and professions were junk, but that's another story for another day. Back when you could actually make money with professions. Yeah, I want to put an axe on one and or a handle on one, and I was actually working on a miniature double-bladed axe head for a keychain with a handle. So, you know, Keck Norris. There's the days of the Chuck Norris trade chatter going over into uh what was that one zone where everybody would go just to talk shit to each other? Y'all know it. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played. I can't remember. It wasn't the Badlands, was it? One of the zones in Warcraft where everybody would go. I played both. I played Horde and Alliance. Of course, your son plays it, and we're close to the same age. Yeah, you got to order the hammer necklace. Well, Mr. Patterson, countylineforge at gmail.com. Patreons. I don't actually. You're a Patreon, are you not, Mr. Patterson? Let me check my list. I think you are. All the Patreons are getting one anyways. So, well, let me rephrase it. I can't guarantee you're getting a hammer necklace as a Patreon. You're getting either an axe or a hammer. I just grabbed, had my wife package some of them up, and we're gonna be sending them out. We're gonna could be this, could be that. You never know. If you specifically want a hammer, at this point, probably would have to order one. Unfortunately, but you're getting either an axe or a hammer. Because, like I said with my last video when I was showing them, I said if you have a specific request on which one you want, tell me now before I get them to that point. Because if you don't tell me up front, and that was I think it was last week. If you didn't tell me then, I think it was kind of lucky to draw whatever you got. Let's see. Yes, CAC and Horde Talk is when they talk to us. There's some folks that actually figured out some of the lingo when you were chatting to each other. Morning, Dustin Dixon. Yes, I know, Alan. You did order it. You did the very next day. I got the email from you, sir. I do remember that one. They're both awesome, anyways. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that, man. And I had a Patreon that joined Patreon after I made that necklace and specifically requested me make a video on making the axe head. So I'm going to be putting out a video for that. You know, that's another perk for being a Patreon. If you're a Patreon and you make a specific request for something to be videoed, come hell or high water, I'm going to try and do it. Okay? Uh, that's one of the big perks of Patreon. You want something, you want to see if it can be done. You want me to experiment and try it to see where it's what's gonna happen with it before you spend money on it. Let me know. As long as it don't break my bank, break my pocket, cause me to go hungry, I'm gonna try and do it for you and show you what you're asking. Maybe it'll help you. You know. Do I have a video up on how to make the hammers? Yes, I do. See y'all. Where you going, Pop? My dad's leaving. You guys. Told a guy about you. He wants to know how much you would charge for a medieval axe with Viking designs. You're wanting like some. Are you wanting? If you're still here, Pop. Hope you didn't leave. Are you wanting? Or is he talking about one like this, or is he talking about an actual axe? Uh, Let me know, Pop. And see what I can do for him. Hopefully you can expand the marketing on those necklaces for more than just necklaces. I see keychains, light chain pulls, the works. Alan, I like you, brother. I really do. You think a lot like me, man. it's kind of weird. You're always that one guy that comes up with this idea that's already cooking in my head, brother. You think a lot like me, man, and that's pretty cool. Full size axe. Does he want it like a tomahawk, or does he want it like a actual axe, like a bearded axe? Tell him to give you a couple pictures or a rough sketch of what he's looking for and what kind of runes he's looking for in it, and I'll see what I can do, Pop. All right. Because I definitely want an axe video anyways, because that's one video I haven't done. I had one that I did, and the footage got messed up on it. I have a bad problem with that. I'm not too savvy with these cards and stuff in these phones, and well, I know I've got to eject them properly. I just don't, and it corrupts the files a lot of times when you don't, and I just get in a hurry. But I had one. It was a Damascus bit welded into a mild steel body and eye, and it was a bearded axe, and it was beautiful until I lost the footage along with damn spider crawling on me. Little bastard going somewhere in a hurry. He's dead now though, but he I burnt the tip off of it, and I was gonna post a video either way because the axe came out great except for the very tip. The welds did fine, everything, but I burnt the tip off of it, and so the axe was gonna be no good. It wasn't salvageable, but I was still gonna post the video because the whole process worked. It was my error from letting it overheat, and I didn't get to post the video because I screwed up the damn files whenever I ejected the card. So he lives in Germany. He will pay for the shipping. So he wants, it doesn't matter, tomahawk style, like a small hand throwing axe or full size chopping axe. He doesn't matter. If he can, have him email you a picture or a drawing or something, and I'll do what I can. Okay, let's see. Pop, if you tired, go get you some rest. Really, you need to lay down if you're tired, Pop. I love you, and we'll always have more opportunities to talk. You ain't gotta force yourself to sit up and watch this just because it's me. I know you want to. If you're tired, go lay down. I understand, Pop. I love you. I used to use it before I built my 2x72. Now it's just if I need something to flattening things out than my 2x72 because it's 4 inches wide as opposed to two. I can get bigger pieces of steel, longer, wider. I can get it more true on that. All right, Pop. Take care. I'll talk to you later. Oh, you're going to North Carolina for a blacksmith apprenticeship. Hold the damn phone. Where are you going to North Carolina for a blacksmith apprenticeship? Let me see him. Because I'd like to see something about this. You tell me, Mr. Dixon, where is it at in North Carolina that's having a blacksmithing apprenticeship? Okay, we probably had similar influences growing up. The way my brain works, the way a tool is intended to work, is the last thing I want to do. Exactly. God, I look at something and I see everything but what it is. It's weird. I'm like, what the hell can I do with that was not meant to do? That's how I look at things, man. Yeah, it's a big old grinder, man. It comes with a stand and everything. The stand that it's on comes with it. I've actually got two of those grinders and stands. Actually, Mr. Patterson, the first one burned up. I used it for so long that I burnt the motor up, and I liked it so much that I bought a second one. So, and then I used it until I built my 2x72. You like that, Keith? Hold the phone. Belsom. Where's Belsom in North Carolina? I've been here my whole life, and I don't know where Belsom is. Let me look that up. Yeah, my phone runs on MS-DOS now. Apparently, it's a damn slow. The one I'm recording on is beautiful. It's great. It's perfect. The one with the speakers that actually works, slow as a damn molasses running uphill. Balsam. Speaking of which, John Tompkins, you know you live about 45 minutes from me, right? Mr. Big Dog, Tim, how are you, sir? It's good to see you guys. Tim, Big Dog Ford's in the house. Everybody say hey to Tim. Let's see. I'm bringing up the map here. I want to see where this is at. Let's see. Show you a little something here, Tim. Since we got you here, got you watching. Okay, there's the cable Damascus hammer. Um, with the faces being as thin as they were, Tim, and the billet being short, and having to use the cupping tool to keep from grinding through the face, it compressed this hammer down a good bit. And I got it drawn back out some with the fullers. You know, it's going to be a usable hammer, but it's so stubby that it's probably not going to be comfortable to use. Okay, and not only that, to grind and having to work it at such a high heat, uh, up at welding temperatures, it caused it to scale off a lot more than anticipated. So what that caused was a lot more grinding necessary than usual on the face to get to clean metal. Nice smooth face, which in turn I'm still in the good steel. I'm still in the steel face, the faces that you put on it. I haven't gone through it, but it's making my faces really thin. Okay, the forge scale, because you can see how in a gas forge when you got it pumping at that heat, it's a total different type of scaling than it is in a coal forge. You know that. I'm certain you know that, Tim. You've seen it. You use a gas forge. You're well aware of how much it scales. So you know what a pitted piece of steel looks like. But maybe some of you guys that have never used a gas forge and have always used coal, you see the sides of this thing? See how like rough and pitted it is? Okay. When you work steel at at welding temperatures in a gas forge, the surface of this steel is melted. It's pretty much molting, okay? But it doesn't run off. It doesn't drip because the gas forge doesn't get it as hot as the coal forge does to where it would actually turn into a pool. I mean, mine will if I turn the heat all the way up and just walk away. But if I set it at the range that I always work it at, I can leave it in there for 2 hours and come back and still have a piece of steel there at welding temperature. But that's what it looks like on the surface, okay? And that gets planished down sometimes. Some folks planish that to take that out. I like the looks of it, okay? But this is a little excessive because I had to work this billet at a much higher temperature than I worked my other billets to make a hammer. If you can understand that, uh, it's it's kind of like a double-edged sword. If you don't work it at that high heat, you're gonna get splits. You're gonna get D-lams probably trying to punch a hole and do all this distorting of that cable and the faces. But if you do work it at that high heat, you have to deal with the surface pitting, and then to get rid of that surface pitting, because like, for instance, see the pit right there? I can't control where this pits or how it pits when it starts pitting. All I can control is the temperature of my forge. And that's a pretty good sized pit. That's an eighth inch or 16th of an inch deep. I had to take a 16th of an inch material off of this entire face just because of that one pit to make this hammer a usable hammer. Okay, so the excessive pitting at that high heat causes excessive grinding. And excessive grinding on an already small billet, it's probably not going to be a usable hammer when I'm done, is what I'm trying to get at, Tim. I could leave it and not harden it, and just clean it up, and use it as mild steel hammer for hitting tools or something like that. Okay, it's still got the weight. You know, it's still right at 2 pounds. It's just compressed and nubby and short and fat. Okay, I've got the video on making it too. John Norwood at Old Hickory Forge did the striking for me. I directed. He did the striking on this, and I'm still gonna put the video up on it for sure, absolutely. But I've still got to finish it, and I want your input, Tim, on how you want me to finish it with this pitting. Do you want me to try and grind it clean and see what happens? Do you want me to say, you know what, we have come to the conclusion that we're not gonna have any hard face left if I grind it anymore, because, and then we need to decide if that's the case. Do we want to just not grind it anymore at all? Just smooth it up a little bit to try and take some of the pitting out, leave it soft or normalized, and use it as a mild steel, like a normalized steel, mild steel hammer for hitting punches and chisels? Or do you want me to say, you know, nice effort on the first Damascus hammer you've tried, and wait for that second billet and make one and send it to you out of that second one? Because this one right here, I don't think would be more than anything than just a wall hanger at this point, or a tool hammer to hit punches and chisels with. I want your input on that, Tim, so if you could just let me know. Can a busted wrought iron hammer be fixed? Sure it can, but you're going to make a new hammer out of it. You're going to have to, there's a lot of work that goes into fixing wrought iron. You got to work at it extremely high. You got to high. It likes it hot. Working it at constant welding temperature is a must. You can try and get the welds to close back up, and hopefully there won't be any inclusions or whatever. You're still probably going to have inclusions. It's wrought iron. It's not a very pure steel, or it's not steel at all. It's just iron. It has no structural value. It just has artistic value. Okay, so if it's a busted wrought iron hammer, I don't think it's even worth the effort to try and fix it back into a usable hammer. At that point, if you were going to fix the bust in the wrought iron, I would make it into something totally different. Make something artistic out of it. Some keychains etched in ferric chloride or something like that. Make you a couple dollars, or carry around a cool keychain. Wrought iron has value, but as a hammer, I don't think it's very valuable. Yes, I have made roses. I've never made roses small enough to carry on a keychain, though. That'd be a pretty tiny rose. Maybe. Hello, Luffy. So lowering the temperature will prevent that pitting, because I have a lot of deep pitting on my work that I really can't afford to grind off. Yes, yes, yes. Uh, it's not really lowering the temperature. It's time exposed to that temperature, because steel's always oxidizing, and a certain heat, it's oxidizing. As it gets hotter, it oxidizes faster. High heat, it oxidizes really fast, and when sitting in a forge, it's oxidizing extremely fast, constantly. And the longer you leave it sitting there, the worse your pitting will get. It's not so much the temperature that does it. It's the time in that temperature. Like, because if you got to work something at welding temperature, you've got to leave it in that temperature for a lot longer than you would if you're just trying to bring it to forge temperature. You understand what I'm saying? Because outside of that steel is being exposed to the temperature of that forge the entire time, regardless of what that steel's temperature is. It's being exposed to 2,000 plus degrees the entire time. Okay, it's the surface scale. The surface is oxidized. Surface oxidation, and you know what I'm saying. And I just, I'm a firm believer that it's time in the forge, not temperature. Okay. You just saved me $2 and a lot of work. Well, if it wait now, is it a wrought iron hammer for sure, Keith? If it's wrought iron, then it's worth it for only $2. Buy it if it's $2. If it's wrought iron's worth a pretty penny, but only if it's wrought iron. You know what I mean? I'm sending you one you won't need to work at such a high heat. I'll be sending it out Tuesday. So this is the hammer that you want, Tim, and you are sending me a hammer for me to make for myself. Is that what you're saying? Well, Keith, if it's a true wrought iron hammer, it's only $2. You buy it or tell them that I'll pay for it plus shipping. Okay, buy it, but don't plan on turning it into a wrought iron hammer. Don't plan on fixing it back as a hammer. Turn it into something else, because wrought iron is valuable. I mean, it's it's really valuable. I mean, it's a sought after material. If you guys, show of hands, show of yeses in the comments. How many of you wishes you could get your hands on some true wrought iron? Out of the 26 people watching right now, how many of you wish you could get your hands on some wrought iron? It's that valuable, I think, to blacksmiths for that do stuff to sell. You know, it has no structural value. See, it's just going off. Yep, yep, yes, yep, yes. It's a huge, huge intrinsic value to blacksmithing. So, yeah, if you can get a wrought iron hammer of any size for $2, man, you better trip over yourself getting it because I'll trip you to get to it. No offense. Let's see. Everybody's waving at me now. Well, wrought iron breaks easy. It does. It's exactly right, buddy. It's not produced anymore. It's only salvaged. All the foundries that made the wrought iron back in the day closed down back after the First Great War. Some of them were destroyed. Some of them were turned into um, steel plants and cast iron. They moved to cast iron instead of wrought iron because they found that wrought iron was just completely inferior to steel or other kinds of alloys and things like that. So they no longer made anything out of wrought iron. And at that point, the foundries were. It cost more to make wrought iron than it did to make cast iron, and nobody wanted wrought iron. They wanted the cast iron. Okay, then so they they realized there's no reason at all we should be making wrought iron anymore. So the only foundries that were making it realized, hey, shut down, make cast iron. So if you want wrought iron, it's probably pulled up out of a river somewhere or out of a scrap yard or been dug up or something, or you got it from somewhere. If they sell wrought iron, they're selling salvaged wrought iron. They didn't make it; they just repurposed it and turned it into bigger bars. Okay, they're not actually making it. Buddy Bell, you want to make a bloomery to make some? That'd be a cool project, man. I'd like to get with you on that too. I'd like to try a bloomery as well. That's something, but it's not an easy feat to do for just one person. So I would need a few hands. If you'd be interested in coming up here and let's work on that one day, uh, maybe we can put something like that into plans. Shoot me an email, man. That would be awesome. You don't live far away. It's a half-pound cross peen. You can see the layers where it's busted on the rounding side. Yeah, get that for $2, definitely. You know, that's $4 a pound. It's only a half pound cross peen. That's impossible, man. You know how small a half pound cross peen is? That's like a jeweler's hammer. I think it may be a little bigger than half pound. Or did you miss a number? Did you mean to say like a 2.5 pound, or they really think it's only a half pound? Yeah, John at Black Bear Ford did a bloomery. Did I do the chest piece today or the hammer? No, I did not. Weather's been kind of crappy down here, so I wouldn't. I could forge, but I wouldn't be able to record it and go live doing it. So I chose to hang out with you guys instead of forging because the rain was preventing me from taking the camera and stuff outside. I didn't want to get soaked. And some of you folks said maybe put it in a plastic bag, but then that's really going to obstruct your view. It's going to cause issues. I think it would. So I ain't gonna do that. Memphis, Tennessee, and going through Graceland. You an Elvis fan, Dustin Dixon? It's easier to work. Yes and no, Joe Hammond. It's easier to work for blacksmithing if you know how to work it. If you don't know how to work it, you're just destroying the shit. So some folks would say it's hard to work because if you don't know how to forge weld, you don't need to mess with wrought iron. Because if you can't get your stuff to the temperature that you need for forge welding, don't put wrought iron in your forge. You're just going to ruin it. You're going to just take the money that you spent on wrought iron, go in the driveway, and pour gas on it, set it on fire. Because you're going to destroy your wrought iron if you don't work it at the right temperature. And so, yeah, but what if you work it at the right temperature, it's like pounding on Play-Doh. It really is. It's like holding a hot dog out there and smacking it with your hammer. Uh, but if you don't, it's just going to split and crack and crumble, come apart. Uh, can anybody else not hear me? Is the track going to be dry enough for racing tonight? Yeah, Mr. Coffee, it is. They sealed it and um, waterproofed the track the other day to keep it from getting too wet. But you seen how it is, man. It could probably use a little overwater, and that son of a bitch is dry, slick all the time. It could probably use some water. They're out there sheet footing it right now, so they pulled the cover off of it. As for the hammers, I would soak it in muriatic acid for 12 hours, and all the scale will come off and show you hard faces in the pattern. If you want to send it to me, I would be happy to finish it. Well, I'd like to finish it for you, Tim. Definitely. I just want to make sure that you're okay with knowing that it's. I may have to go through the hard faces to get it cleaned up properly to make it a usable hammer, and then at that point, it wouldn't be really usable for anything other than like punches. So, um, you tell me, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to try and clean it up and see what you can do with it? Because, like I said, it's my first time doing a Damascus hammer, and I'll be perfectly honest with you. Where to put it? This stuff moved easier than anything I've ever forged before, other than wrought iron. You can ask John Norwood over at Old Hickory Forge. He was striking it. It doesn't take much. It didn't take much at all for it to move. I mean, this stuff moved like butter, very very easily. So I think that contributed a lot to it compressing down as well, for sure. It was just really easy to move. I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. It was my first time doing Damascus, and if Damascus went that well every time, I'd probably make all my hammers out of Damascus because I didn't get a single delamber issue at all with your billet whatsoever, Tim. It's flawless. I can't find a single problem. Even after my forging of it, I didn't see anything come apart, no cracks, nothing. So you say muriatic acid, 12 hours, and then take a look at it, see where the faces are, and see what I've got to work with as far as how much more I can do some grinding on it. So I'm gonna try that. I'll do that, Tim. I'll drop it in some muriatic acid, let it sit for 12 hours, and when I pull it out, I'll see how much is left of this hard face, and I'll be able to have a better understanding of how much more I can do. Because you can see, I haven't ground that round face at all yet. Okay, that's just from the cupping tool, and it's still got that little spot there that I got to knock those edges off. But as far as the rounding face, I think we're golden on that. It's more my concerns more with the flat face. Okay, and I know that that fuller line right there is a little crooked, and unfortunately, that came from me trying to stretch the billet back out because it compressed so much from using the cupping tool with a striker. I mean, a couple whacks and this thing was like, yeah, it moved really easy. So I don't think, I don't want to say it's bad for hammers because I don't know. Just because all I've done is forge so far. I haven't finished. I haven't heat treated. I haven't put it to use. I haven't been able to test it to see how it holds up, how it runs through working it and everything. So I can't say it's bad for hammers. I can say that you may want to try bigger billets when you use Damascus for hammers. That way you can forge it like you want, and you don't got to worry about the compression because you still got plenty of steel to make it a usable hammer. If that makes sense. Somebody cooking naked again? Coughed red clay for a minute. Loved every week of it. John Coffey's talking about the dirt track down there. Well, they're in there. They're sheet footing it now, and it's got some water on it, so hopefully it won't be a dry slick. We'll have a good track tonight for them big dogs. You seen the size of the track, 3/8 mile, and you put 24 late models on a 3/8 mile track. Things could get a little dicey. I had to turn on my Bluetooth radio. I could barely hear you. Now you're loud and clear. Huh. How do I know what's the right temp? Do you mean for Damascus or forge welding, Miss Penny? If you're talking about for forge welding, there's a couple different ways you can tell if you don't have a pyrometer. Um, Generally, if you know what kind of steel you're using, you can look at the data sheet on it and tell what heat, all the different heats you need to be at for what things you're trying to do to that steel. And you can set your forge to that temperature and wait till that piece of steel's up to that temperature. Me, I like to look at it, and when it looks like the steel's sweating, that's forge welding temperature. If it looks like that steel's got little beads of sweat dancing around on it in that forge, it's ready to weld. Another way to know, if you bring it out of the fire and your piece is steaming, not smoking, steaming. If you see steam coming off of it all the way around, it's kind of hissing. It's at weld temperature. It's ready to work. If it's blowing sparks all over the place, it's too hot. You're burning it. A couple sparks is okay. You're flirting on the edge there. You're not hurting much at all. But if it's looking like you're holding a damn sparkler in your hand, it's too hot. Okay, you're cooking the steel. Also, another thing that works. Oh, you're talking about wrought iron. Well, same principle with forge welding. You can use what I'm telling you to go with the wrought iron because it's the same way. Because you got to work wrought iron. Working wrought iron means you're forge welding it back onto itself because it's just you work it at forge welding temperature. There's so many impurities in wrought iron and inclusions and stuff like that. It's just you work it at forge welding temperature, it's going to come apart. One way I like to test the forge welding, get you just a wire coat hanger, uh, and stick the coat hanger into the forge when you think it's a temperature, and touch it with the coat hanger. And if the coat hanger wants to stick to it, then it's at welding temperature. That's another way to know. Uh, you know, there's several different ways. I go off of looks because I know my forge well enough to know what temperature it's at, and I can tell what the steel looks like when it's at welding temperature. I've done it enough. If you haven't, the ways I just described are pretty good way to know. The steam coming off of it and it's hissing. If you look at it, it looks like it's sweating really good, like it's pouring sweat off of it. That's indication that it's at welding temperature, or if you can make a coat hanger stick to it while it's in the forge. You know, I mean, I'm not saying stick the coat hanger in there and wait 5 minutes and then see if it sticks. I'm talking take a cold coat hanger, stick it in there and touch the piece of steel. And if you stick it in there and try to pull back and it moves that piece of steel because it grabbed the molten steel on that piece, grab that coat hanger, it's ready to weld. And you can take it out and use it. Several different ways. Yeah, try those out and don't be afraid to try different things when you have it at that temperature as well. You never know. Um, just know your steel. Certain steels weld at different temperatures than others. Tool steel welds a lot lower temperature than mild steel. 5160 scales at a much lower temperature. Whereas if you were to try and people try to say you can't forge weld 6160 to itself, and that's just bogus. You can. I've done it, and I've seen people do it, and I know people that do it all the time. You just have to know how to do it. If you want to forge weld 5160 to itself, spring steel, you have to clean it good first, and you have to make sure you flux it at the right temperature. If you wait for that thing to get good and red hot, it's too late. It's already scaling. It's a it scales at a much lower temperature than regular steel. So once it's up to red hot, almost kind of orangish color, it's too late. It's already scaled up, and it's not going to work. You need to get it in, clean it up really well, and coat it with flux, and stick it in the forge. That's what I do. I clean it up really well, coat it with flux, stick it in the forge, take it off. I take it out, brush it extremely well. I do not let it get red hot. Um, you brush it kind of at a dull red. Don't let it get bright red hot. When you start seeing it change from black to or gray to dull red, that's about the point where you need to flux it at the latest. That's the latest you can go with fluxing it, because if you don't, it's going to scale up and it's not going to weld. It's just going to delam every time. So there's different. Know your steels and how you're working it. You still want to. It's still going to look the same at welding temperature as mild steel would, but it's not going to be the same temperature as mild steel is to weld, if that makes sense. The steel's going to look like it's 2,000 degrees, but you ain't got to be. I don't think you got to be at 2,000 degrees to forge weld tool steel or spring steel. The steel's going to look like it's that hot, but it's not. Okay. Up until he said, "Then you stick it in the forge," my brain was stuck on the repeat loop of "That's what she said." Yeah, etched wrought iron looks awesome. It does. That's why it's got a lot of value. Yep. Joey Vandersteeg does a lot with the wrought iron. Check him out. That's for sure. Wish I could send. Should come down with the 9 days off, but oh well. Yeah, you're. Speaking of which, during your 9 days off, Mr. Coffee, we're having the Renegade Rumble. It's a big money race for the Renegade class, and they're the main feature for the night. So, and that's next weekend. Yeah, buddy. The Renegades aren't the cars that I sponsor aren't running this weekend, um, but they are next. They're running next weekend. Less than 50 away from 1K. Who bumped me over to 950 mark? If she tells you that, I wouldn't. Oh, guys. You guys are awesome. I'm going to send you the drill bit Damascus. I would like you to build something out of it to sell to help out your dad. Maybe an axe or something like that. Tim, man, you're too, that's awesome. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. Dad, if you're watching, there you go, man. These guys are looking out for you, Pop. Uh, that's why I love blacksmithing. Everybody's a family here, man. They all want to help each other, and it's just it renews faith in humanity, man. Thank you very much, Tim. Bottom of my heart, brother. Thank you. Heavy stock, you should always wait a few seconds after it reaches welding temp. Once it hits temp, start counting up. Once you pull it out, start counting down. He said, "Pull it out, Alan." I didn't think you would. I thought you might go a little nuts on that one. Yep, it is a great group of people, man. These guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much. I've actually had a few extra, uh, a few more people join the Patreon here lately too. That have sent me a few messages about my father, and thank you guys very much. We're gonna get after it. There's a little hope, I guess. A little light at the end of the tunnel. A lot of hope, tons of hope. I mean, and faith that it's going to all turn out well and work out for us, but especially for my dad. But, you know, just a little bit of confidence that they're going to take care of it. Just pray. Oh, Mr. Allen, you guys are too much, man. I appreciate it. I really do. You're right, Jim Patterson. Best group of guys around for sure. They really are. I mean, I can't really count how many messages and texts and emails I've gotten just to say, "Hey, we're thinking about you, Ting Ting. Tell your pops we're thinking about it." I mean, you guys, those mean more to me than the things you're buying. You know, to tell me that you guys are actually thinking about me. You care enough to actually you're thinking about my dad. You care enough to send that message and say, "Hey, God be with you." You know, thank you guys. I know my dad appreciates it too. Make anything out of that stainless. Is that for Tim? Yeah, to him. I figured that was for Tim. Yeah. I need some advice on some stainless too. I had a viewer. Let me grab it here real quick. Punch myself in the stomach, pulling the tape off. How about that? That's lovely. I had a viewer send me. He wished to remain anonymous because he's a detective, I believe, law enforcement officer. He said he doesn't want his name being put out there, so we'll honor that, and we will just say very generous subscriber who sent me a few bars of 1-inch solid round stainless. He said he is not certain of what kind it is. I'm trying to pull tape off, and tape doesn't matter. He's not certain of what kind it is, and neither am I, but I have two of these. I have two solid round bars of stainless, 1-inch, and they do not have colors on their ends to indicate what they may be. Maybe I could use that color to find the supplier from where he's at around him. Maybe we can track down what kind it is. But how would you guys go about working with this? I have two bars this long. They're about 2 foot long. So I got about 4 foot of this. And I don't really know what to do with it. And I want to do something with it. So what would you do with this, Tim? I have a stainless one bar, 1-inch. What can we do with it? Well, I'm trying to figure it out. Cutlery. Matthew Nielsen says cutlery. It's that's what I'm thinking. It's hard to say because I know some stainlesses are good for knives and some aren't. And I've always heard too that stainless steel is no longer stainless once it's forged. Is that true? I don't know. I don't know about that. I've never really messed with stainless. I know certain grades people want for knives, like 80 CRV or whatever it is. They use that for chef's knives and stuff like that. Um, but I don't know exactly. Don't know what kind it is. I don't. If you had some mystery stainless, Tim, what would you do with it? Because I don't know enough about stainless. See what Tim does with it. See how hard it actually is. Campfire utensils. That's not a bad idea. Oh, Chandler Dickinson's quality assurance test is always a good place to start. Stainless steel tongs. That depends on how hard this stuff is, man. Let's see. Let's see here. Most stainless has aluminum in it, especially for pots and pans. Did not know that. I did not know that. I know more about tool steels and carbon steels than I do stainless. Like I said, I got two bars of this right here. And got this old pipe wrench here. And I'm certain that this jaw, the whole thing's made out of decent steel. And I'd like to turn this into something, maybe I don't know. What could we turn this into? Because the thing's of no use to me. I got better ones. I don't have any use for this thing. I'd like some ideas, maybe, for this. I did just see a video of Chandler made a knife out of one of these. I'm not much of a knife maker, though, so I don't know. But let's see what brand this is. Walco. It's a Walco pipe wrench. You guys know anything about Walcos? Made in USA. Walco. Walco Worth Company, I guess. Make a big knife. Made you think of a decorative pot rack. Out of what? Talk about out of this? That's something to think about. What could I? Huh. I don't know. I got a bunch of different little things laying around. Like I said, I got some small projects that I've got to get finished. As far as someone asked what my next big project is, it's obviously the hammer or the chess set that I'm working on the weekends. Really wish I could have been working on it today. I didn't want to get rained on. But once I get these small projects and orders out of the way and get freed up, unless some folks order some more stuff, which could always happen. I can't make any guarantees that I will have free time after these orders are done because I may have more orders. But if I don't, I've got some of these other things laying around that I'd like to try to get to. I wanted to do a video on turning the hoof nippers into tongs for Alan and for the gentleman that requested them. Everybody's just made videos on that. Tim just did a video on it. Chandler just did a video on it. Somebody else did. I think I just seen 3 new videos in the last week on hoof nippers being turned into tongs. So I don't think making a video on hoof nippers turning them into tongs would be the right thing to do. It'd probably look like I'm trying to copy everybody, don't you think? That's what I think. A mini dog's head hammer. It's probably industrial. Big Dog said. Tim says it's probably industrial 304. Not good for forging. It's tough to work and problem to clean up unless you can find a manufacturer. It's just shop filler. Oh, okay. We finally got someone that need the nippers. Yeah, they sent me an email. Yours busted in your hand on the first heat. Your nippers, what, the rivet came apart? Is that what you're saying? Josh Major, you saying they came apart in your hands? You talking the rivet popped? That's not a bad idea, Alan. That is not a bad idea. A live feed on fixing the nippers instead of just making a video and posting it. Do a live feed of it. Oh, the head split. Yeah, that's no good. You may not have had it at the right temperature because nippers are made out of some carbon steel. They're not just mild steel. They're made out of decent steel, so they may require a certain temperature to work at, and you may not have had it at the right temperature. It could be what it is. I'm not going to say for sure because I wasn't there. Pipe wrench jaw, make a small hammer for detail planishing. The pipe wrench jaw itself, a small hammer. This thing. Cut this head off right here. Punch a hole here, make a mini cross beam with a flat face on this side for a small planishing hammer. Got a jeweler hammer size. No. You didn't have any cast hoof nippers. No. If you did, then they weren't hoof nippers. Because hoof nippers are made with carbon steel to probably somewhere along the lines of like a 1080 or something like that. But they're made to be sharpened because they got to hold an edge. Yeah, they're definitely not cast. They may have just been so damn pitted that they looked like cast, but they were definitely not cast. Yeah, send me a pic to my email, countyline4@gmail.com. I'd be interested in seeing that. I've never seen a pair of I've seen cast steel stuff, but not cast iron. If it's cast steel, it can still be made out of good steel. Like an anvil. H13, cast steel anvil, cast H13 anvil. You know, it's still made out of good steel. Whether it's cast or not. But if it's cast iron, it's not hoof nippers. Because it's got to be made out of decent steel. You can just shake the top of the jaw into the hammer face and keep the rest as the handle. It'd be small, but that's the point. Small taps. Probably drop forged. That's what I'm thinking, Tim, is drop forged. It'd be small, but that's the point. Small taps to work small areas and sharp details. Yeah. That's something I haven't made videos of, and I probably should, is planishing hammers and small hammers, stuff like that, jeweler's hammers. My wife's actually trying to talk me into doing some mini forging, making a miniature forge and a miniature anvil and and some mini tongs because she liked my door knocker. So yeah, drop forge. How's my father doing right now? He's pretty tired. He had to go to the hospital again this past week, so he's in some pain and everything. He's got a lot of inflammation in his chest, so a lot of pressure. It's kind of hard for him to take a deep breath. So he feels like it's ripping his chest open when he takes a breath. So he had to go to the emergency room. They gave him some high-powered anti-inflammatory and some pain medicine and everything, and trying to get the inflammation under control, trying to make him more comfortable. But what is drop forged? Drop forged would be you have a mold, you put a block or a stamp, big head comes down, bite, yeah, hits it one time and it presses it, forges it into the shape it's supposed to be, and it spits it out. The next one drops in, and then boom, a big hammer hits it, makes it, punches it out, and sends it out. That's a drop forge. It's got two molds exactly the same, or it's one mold split down the middle, top and bottom. Set the piece in here, smash. It's kind of like the Play-Doh dies whenever you were a kid making things out of Play-Doh with the little plastic things, and you smush it together and you open it up and it's a hamburger. That's drop forged. Or you can do like Penn Tomb says, and just drop forging can be what us folks who don't have a good hold of their steel does a lot. They drop it on the floor. No, it's drop forged. Just a reminder, Daniel Moss is live tomorrow 4 p.m. or 9 p.m. UK time. Join us for chat. Breakfast is ready. Sausage, grits, fresh hen eggs. I'm out of hot sauce. Got a little fresh eggs. All right, guys, we're at an hour and 15 minutes now. I've got to get some stuff taken care of. Like I said, it's a busy day at the track for me. I've got to go. So we're going to start winding this thing down. If you're interested in independence, you know where to email me at. If you're interested in anything, you know where to email me at. Whatever helps. Whatever gets sent, gets sent. And it's all appreciated. And thank you very much. Tim, looking forward to that billet. Thank you very much, sir. I can't wait to see it, man. That's gonna be awesome. And I'm gonna drop this hammerhead down in some uriatic acid today, and I'm gonna drop it in there at noon today, and I'm gonna get it out of there this evening when I get back from the track, and I'm gonna see what it looks like. Ben Toombs, sir, you are welcome. Jason Oakley, you are welcome. Thank you guys for watching. Really do appreciate that. Josh Major, you're welcome, brother. I really appreciate you guys sticking out and hanging out with me, even though I wasn't banging on anything, man. And that's why I love you guys. You guys are an awesome community. Hit the like button on your way out. 29 of you watching, only 24 likes, please. Also, Tim, I'd like to know that if you're doing church tomorrow, I want to be there, obviously. Everybody, make sure you're there at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Big Dog Forge, he goes 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time over there. He's an early riser. We get together for Blacksmith's Church, man. It's a lot of fun. We all just sit around and shoot shit and have a good time. We have a great time over there. John Tompkins, you, sir, you don't live far from me. If you ever want to get in for a hammer in, let me know. Maybe we can work something out. Always trying to get some folks around the forge, around the ample, man. I really am. All right, guys, y'all take care. Yeah, hit my Patreon if you want. That's awesome. Patreon.com/CountyLineForge. I've had several folks send me messages and ask me why I don't do super chat. Trust me, I want to do super chat. I really do, but I've got to be monetized as a channel before I can unlock super chat. And that takes 1,000 subscribers. I've already got the watch time. I just need the subscribers. So help me out, folks. Share. Hit that button. Share the videos. Get some folks in here. we break 1,000, I submit my channel for monetization, then I'll be able to open up super chat, and that would be awesome. So it would help fund the channel, help keep me giving you guys more content, and I love making content, but at this time I got to make money too, and it's unfortunate the situation that we're in, but it's got to be done. Certain times I don't want to have to choose between money and content, so maybe once we get monetized, it'll help out a little bit more. So I really appreciate you guys and everything you're doing for me and my father and my family, man. And I know my father weekend.